Hey everyone, welcome back to Meet the Experts. I'm your host, Mariella Pepin, and today our expert is...
Hi, I'm Jennie Paxton. I'm a family nurse practitioner here at Spa Derma in Lakeview.
So Jenny, today we're talking about something that's kind of rampant online in discussions, especially recently in terms of celebrities, and that's pillow face.
Yes, oh my gosh, it is going all over the internet.
So what exactly is pillow face?
So pillow face technically is when there's too much filler placed in the incorrect plane of the face. Either you're getting too much filler over time and it's just accumulating in the incorrect spaces of the face.
Okay, so when you say plane, that's like the layer of the skin?
Yes, exactly. So your face and your skin is essentially made up of 5 different layers. Your skin or your epidermal layer, your superficial fat pads, then your muscle, then your deep fat pads, and then the bone. So technically fillers should be placed either on bone in your deep fat pads or in the superficial layer. And so, either it's being placed into the muscle or too close to the skin, and then that's why you'll see pillow face occur.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so is there any other adverse effect that can happen when filler is placed into the muscle, for example, aside from the pillow face?
So yes, absolutely. It is awful when it's placed into the muscle. There's a lot of vasculature in the muscle. That's where most of your arteries and veins will lie.
Okay.
So there's a higher risk for vascular occlusion in the muscle area. So, and also just placing it in the incorrect plane is not good overall.
Okay. Can you explain a little bit for those who don't know what vascular occlusion is?
Sure, yeah. So a vascular occlusion is where a little particle of the filler gets placed into the vein or artery, and it occludes the process of the blood being able to flow through that vein or artery.
Okay. Wow. Which can cause
Some
huge problems.
Major damage, yeah.
Okay. So how do you know if that happens to you?
So you'll immediately see some blanching. The skin will become white or dusky in appearance, and then over time, it does actually take a couple of days for it to like fully cause like really serious effects, but you want to catch it as soon as possible. So you'll start to see the skin become blanching or white in appearance. So we do something called the capillary refill test, where you basically just press on the skin for a certain amount of time and then let it go. And if you see the skin coming back to its normal pink color, that's what you typically would like to see.
Okay.
But if it's not, then typically it will become a little bit more in like a darker appearance. It will come back as briskly or as fast. So that's how you would know that you would have a vascular occlusion.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
I've had injectors who will do like that little test just to check blood flow, and so now I know that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
They're doing you a solid favor.
Yeah, that's great. So basically it all comes down to wanting to work with an injector who's experienced and who knows what they're doing and knows how to kind of avoid these things, right?
Exactly.
But in the case that you do see someone who maybe injected too much, or you go to different injectors who are kind of just placing filler on top of filler on top of filler.
Exactly.
What can you do to reverse the look of pillow face?
Okay, so I would recommend that you would get like dissolving agents over time, right? So I have patients who come to me and have like, lip fillers, maybe 3 or 4 lip fillers that are, placed on top of each other. You really just don't want to be doing that. It's really unsafe. It can cause a compression occlusion, which is similar to a vascular occlusion, right? Where it's pressing against the vein or artery. And, you want to be dissolving and then fresh starting. Okay. Sometimes it's a hard pill to swallow to dissolve it with the hyaluronic acid, hyaluronidase, sorry. And yeah, I think over time it's just better to just start fresh.
Okay. So this also contributes to what some people call like the duck lip or the migration is when you start compounding filler on top of filler on top of filler.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people that don't understand that dissolving is like the best way to kind of build back, right?
Right.
Have you ever had instances where you have dissolved someone's lips, for example, and then they've gotten like an even more beautiful result after restarting?
Absolutely. Yeah. I had actually a recent patient. I saw her at my last practice, and then she followed me here to Spa Derma. and she was having like nodules, and it took a series of couple of dissolvings, but after refilling her and trusting the process, she has even better, and she's more happy that it's fixed.
Amazing. Okay, so I actually know of an injector in our area. I'm not going to name names, but they actually suggest dissolving filler in the lips after every single time and like restarting every single time. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no. No, I don't think that's a good idea. It will actually affect your own hyaluronic acid stores too. The filler dissolves over 6 to 9 months. That's typically what the product is meant to do. So, with your own filler, I would let it, kind of slowly come off on its own, and then I would just refill it when it's ready to be refilled.
Okay. So you mentioned dissolving, and I think this kind of ties into the pillow face conversation because especially with some celebrities, this has sparked the idea that filler doesn't always dissolve on its own and that it kind of stays in your face possibly forever. And that has scared a lot of people. What are your thoughts on that?
I would say don't trust everything that you see on like social media, right? Yes, there's people who like will injector hop and go and get filler placed by anybody and anyone, and I definitely have seen it in my practice. You have to be the right type of provider to say, no, I'm not going to fill you. It's just a risky thing. It's not something I'd want to put my own personal medical license on the line for. And if you're going to somebody, or if you're having patients who are coming to you and doing that, that may be an underlying sign of, insecurity of their own. Like they may have some mental health issues that they need to address.
So that's something we've actually talked about a little bit, is wanting to have like a psychiatrist come on and kind of discuss, our industry is all about, appearance for the most part and how people can feel when they get treatments or don't get treatments. So that's a very valid point. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jennie, and thank you for watching. As always, don't forget to let us know in the comments if there are any other topics you'd like for us to discuss on future episodes of Meet the Expert. And in the meantime, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the things. Before we let you go, Jennie, I'm going to ask you to share a little piece of advice or a tidbit or a phrase with our audience. What do you got?
Yeah, so I would just say that just make sure you're going to an injector that you can trust, somebody who can be honest with you about when it's just a little too much.
Perfect. See you next time.
Bye.